Hi Rupert, I'm Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Mine is about feelings. And it feels like a really important question to me because it feels like something I've been trying to get some sense of my entire life. And about 5 years ago, because I was in such a stuck, depressed, suffering, hopeless, despairing place and have no idea what to do, so I spent 2 years quite intensively taking psychedelics. And I got to a place in myself which was just mindless terror, just like terror, like a complete contraction of being, almost like a step, and all I can do is just about hold on to myself, and a step beyond that is utter annihilation, blown apart, chaos, madness, fragmentation, can't hold anything together. And it was quite a traumatic experience in and of itself, but it did feel like it showed me something that made sense to me in terms of the level of suffering and deadness and depression I've experienced in my life, because it feels like I've lived from a place of trying not to experience that feeling. And since then, it did feel like it's opened up something, and occasionally in bodywork and a few other places, I've had a similar experience, and always it just brings up a visceral experience of like terror and contraction. And so in the meditation this morning, at the point at which you were inviting us to start opening our eyes, and up until that point I was feeling kind of very calm and very open, and as I opened my eyes widely, I just felt that experience of the same experience. It's like the world is flooding into me in such an overwhelming way that the experience in the body is one of terror, and I just want to leave the room, and I'm feeling like I'm gonna, it's even hard to say what the feeling is. Like there's a sense of like I'm going to throw up, I'm going to scream, my body's going to fall apart. And I can I have a sense of it, it's like a threshold experience. But there's something, the level of terror that comes up is so, and it's so visceral, it's almost like it doesn't feel like I have a mind present, it literally feels like a mindless terror.
So what did you do this morning, Michelle, when that happened?
I opened my eyes really wide, I was looking around, I was moving my body, I was like feeling my feet on the floor, I was like pulling like back into myself. And I came, and it was interesting because I could feel like almost like my whole body contracting back to a place of separation where I live.
Yes, and if you had, because you said it happened when you opened your eyes, the world flooded in, you felt this. If you had closed your eyes, would the intensity have diminished?
I did do that, and I think almost now, because of previous experience having been traumatic, I think as well when it just starts, there's such a lot of fear associated with it. So I did close my eyes initially, but it still feels like, oh, I'm losing my body. And so almost like having to like move my body and almost like regain a sense of like, I don't know, it's pulling back into being separate somehow. And I was having to keep your voice out because it felt like your voice was taking me back into that place.
Just pushing your, yeah. Would it have been possible, Michelle, at that moment, instead of trying to sort of pull yourself together and reassert the sense of separation, which is safe and familiar, would it have been possible for you at that moment to, and this is a genuine question, feel free to say no, instead of contracting back into the separate self, would it have been possible at that moment to do the opposite, which is to go expand further out and to feel yourself even more as the space in which this intense sensation, emotion was appearing? Could you have done that, or was it too intense?
I mean, in the moment it felt like it too intense, and actually, so what you just said there, because my feeling is like I'm so small and it's so big and it's going to rush into me and explode.
But that's it. That's what I'm trying to reverse, so that you feel that you are so big and it is so small. At the moment, I am so small and it is so big. No, I want you to feel that you are the fact that it was happening in you means that you awareness it was already taking place inside you. Mm-hmm. So I'm not even asking you to do something that wasn't already happening. I'm really asking you to to recognize what is already the case, namely that this very intense experience was already happening in this openness. But by suggesting that you feel that you expand, what I mean is you expand from this not to feel that this space is even larger, even more accommodating. I'm really only asking you to recognize what is already taking place, that this intensity is already happening in your openness. Could you go even more in that direction? Because the moment you do, you disempower the intensity of the emotion. At the moment the emotion has power over you, it has got you under its thumb. It has control of you. It can make you do. I'm caricaturing the emotion, imagining that it is an entity in you, but it's controlling you. It has the ability to make you feel terrified, to make you feel small. The moment you stand as this space and you turn towards it and you say, "You can just rage within me for as long as you like. I'm just this open, aware emptiness." The moment you do that, you disempower it. It loses its power. That would be it's a very intense sadhana. That's why I asked you whether it would be possible for you to do it. If you'd said no, I'd give you a less intense practice.
Then no. if I'm honest. The honest answer, I think, just because it's so
okay,
visceral.
but if you say no and I give you a less intense sadhana, we'll only be having this conversation in 6 months' time. Why don't you do it now? Because you may not think it's possible for you, but I'm absolutely convinced that it is.
So when there's then there's this terror in my body, and I feel I'm going to lose my body, and it's so.
That's fine. Lose it. That's fine. You're not going to lose yourself. Every time you fall asleep at night, you lose your body. You never think twice about it. That's why you like falling asleep at night, because you're relieved of your body. Just let your body go. It'll come back.
Give me a phrase or something. I need something to hold on to. I need something other than just space.
Just turn to this terror and say, "I am the loving openness in which you appear. You can rage all you like, and you can stay for as long as you wish." I am this open, loving space of awareness. You turn towards the terror and you say this, and you can rage as much as you like. You can last for as long as you like. You can be as intense as you like. You're completely welcome within me. Don't tell yourself you can't do it. You can do it. I know you can do it.
I'll try. Thank you.